So the most irritating thing about using Zoom is that when you forget to put the share. So anyway, hi, hello, this is Sydney Fleming. This is like my third time recording this, third time going strong. I'm mildly upset because I just recorded this and actually gave you the most prettiest explanation and watch it not be anywhere remotely near the same. My nose ring is a little crooked. Anyway, I'm trying to finish this so I can go get the gains at the gym because we're trying to get big swole for 2025. Anyway, like I said, my name is Sydney Fleming. This is for module 5 through 6. This is for software uh, operating systems. For operating systems, and my teacher is Charles Muse. I don't know why my brain, my mind blank. Well, we're not gonna make sure this comes up. Share. Okay, grassy, I see. Excuse me, excuse me. Anyway, so I just want to go ahead and give a little bit of a disclaimer. This is my first time using a do loop or a do function for a code. I always like to say I feel like this class is a little bit more challenging my coding prowess because I didn't realize that I didn't know how to use these. Like I would always type do and it would come up blue, but I would never use it. I was always shy. So now I'm gonna actually be using this function a lot more and a couple more codes. So anyway, I want to show you my ACO file, which is the people, and look, you're in there. Look at you. You made it in here. So there's a funny Easter egg with the names. Oh, let me stop. So there's a funny Easter egg with the names. So I'm just gonna go through and explain this code from the start, and then we can kind of get into my thought process and the Easter egg. So we have our includes, we have our IO stream input, output, so we can get the user's input and display outwardly and have the structured without having to do the STD every single time. We have Fstream, which is for the file, opening it, writing to it, taking from it, examining it, open close. String, because we ended up using string for first name, last name, and full name. And limit. This is gonna kind of keep the stream clean while also adding the limit that is up here with a constant. And we're gonna go with the constant that we started out with, like the similar last code is the max users is 3. And inside the main, you're gonna get the string users using a array. The array kind of helps keep the names in there, and it makes it easier for the code to actually search it. But we'll go down. So if the file actually is unable to open up, like always, it's going to give you an error because you would think that after writing like a file for the third time, I'd be okay. I'm still not okay, and I still need to have this there. So it's going to take the 3 names in for the integer, and it's saying 4 while the iteration is at 0 and the iterator is less than the max users, add 1. So it's going to get the line and then input it into the file and then take in the user's array. And obviously, fun fact, or well, it's not fun, but arrays start at 0, so technically it's only 0, 1, 2. One thing I like to mess with people. So now we're gonna go to where this is closed now, and we're gonna do a char search. So the search allows for it to go through the array and it's gonna see if the names are true or false, but that's coming down, or if the names equal, or if the input equals the names that are already in the file. So you're gonna get the name from the user first name and then use the get line, enter first, last, get line, enter last. First name is basically concatenating those two things, so then they're now seen as one. So whenever it goes into compare these, it's going to compare the full name that was inputted and the name that is already in here. And as you can see, there's no other than the space, but and that's the space that it's accounting for, right here is the space, but it's just accounting for those names. And then if the names that are found in the file are true to what has been entered, then it'll say access granted, and then it'll say access denied. And then it'll ask the user, do you want to go through and would you like to search again? And my most proud part of this, other than the do function, is the ignore, or the see and ignore system limit stream max. And this is what I was talking about earlier about making the limit up here so that we can clean up down here. So basically, I've noticed loops have a issue where they'll hold on to the previously entered text rather than cycling through and realizing that this is a whole new version of the loop. So that'll make sure that everything's cleared out of the way so that the new input is what the this for function, this for loop is actually comparing against. And then while this is true, do you want to search again? If you do anything outside of the uppercase y or lowercase y, then it's going to say goodbye in session. And this has really kind of been pulled with the inspiration of using Azure and understanding. This allows for me to really understand how they grant access, because for the longest time I just thought, okay, well, it's going to pull from the Active Directory, and the Active Directory in this case being the text file, and it's going to say, okay, well, if the inputted values aren't in what is in Active Directory, and in my mind, obviously Active Directory is taking the student number, a number, first name, last name, middle name, any other type of PII, personal identifiable information, so then it'll kind of compare that to what's in the system already, and it'll grant you access or deny you access depending on the information that's been provided. So if there was a way that I would want to scale this to it be in more of my everyday user type deal, or if I was to be creating like a software for this, it would be to make the array a lot longer and to hold more information. So it would be several different sets of arrays, and it would be taking in first name, last name, student number, and then comparing, in theory, comparing when what they're trying to log into, and if they have access depending on their role. Because we did talk about role-based access in this chapter or in this module. So to find a way to implement role-based, and then in addition to knowing whether or not the person personal identified information that was inputted checks out, would work. So I guess that was my computer's sign telling me it's time to charge me. So I'm going to give you a quick run through so you can see how this code works, and then we're done. But that was really cool. And then the do function. So this is really to do to get. I don't understand. I mean, I wonder if they probably do have a get function, but to get and do this particular task. And I like that I did a nested, and Miss Miller would be proud of this, but I did a nested for loop and a nested else loop with inside of this do and while loop. So that was really cool. This, if you ask me, this is one of my more one, two, three, four, five, six different use cases of loops that I've studied throughout college, and getting to kind of use them all here, along with the concatenation of adding the full name and then using a boolean. Like Dr. Alack and Miss Miller would be very proud. So let's go through, and we're gonna do our first name. So it doesn't like my first name. I do not know why. It just says access denied. Yes, but if we do your name, it'll probably let me in. Oh, no, it will not. But let's see if we do my mom's name. Will it let me in? Okay, well, let's run this again, because I don't know why it doesn't like our names. Because at first, so Sydney Fleming, access denied. Yes. Vicky, not Icky. Vicky Fleming, access granted. Yes. Charles Weems, access denied. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't like ours, but it likes my mom's name. But yeah, this is this is everything. Let me take a picture of this so that I can upload. Thank you for listening and watching. I hope this was recorded. If it wasn't recorded, then that's tragic. But thank you once again for being a wonderful teacher, for giving us grace, and for allowing us to upload this, and really for challenging me in my coding, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not a strong coder. I like C++, but as far as actually like putting a lot of the different smaller pieces that we've learned into code and into action, I have not. So this is really combining all of these different fundamental skills and learning points that I learned early in my comp sci degree. So thank you, sir.